Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 585 of Geeks in Space. We're watching Moonraker, but I would not dare do it without Chris Bona.
Hello. I too like raking moons.
Nate Ostendorp. Rob Roseboom.
Yep, I watched this.
You definitely watched this movie.
I did, from the beginning to the end.
Wow. Credits too? Did you see the after the credits stuff?
The Sting.
Yeah, no.
So this movie, as I think we've discussed several times in the past, I had a long history in my childhood of always seeing the crappy second movie in most trilogies, the exception being Empire, but this was my James Bond movie. This was the only James Bond movie that I had as a kid growing up. So
wait, you only had Moonraker?
Yes. So until like the age of 12, this was James Bond as far in my imagination.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't even get Christopher Walken.
No.
You got low rent, Goldfinger.
So I'll say up front that I've tried through the years to like James Bond and 007, but it's not my jam. Particularly these old ones. I think the new ones with Craig are a little bit more polished and a little bit, more true to sort of what that character is. Right. These are very sort of slapstickish, and I hate how much of a horn dog James Bond is. It just, it's like the dude that spends half his life just humping air. He just has absolutely no control or class at all.
But like at every turn, there is an attractive woman with a martini who's ready. And how could they not be, given that he is in his mid-50s?
And
in a leisure suit most of the time.
And such a handsome man, right?
I can see his appeal, especially when he was younger and he played the Saint, But yeah, a lot of this you're just like, who is this old man macking on all these young women and not getting in trouble for it?
It's really cringy.
I went through and checked the ages of several of the women. I think Holly Goodhead was 29 to Moore's, I think, 52, 53.
Please refer to her as Dr. Goodhead.
Yeah, really. She didn't go to rocket scientist school for nothing.
Another part of the 007 experience that I've always hated. The stupid names. My God.
Yeah.
I love the
They're
names.
really bad.
It wasn't Pussy Galore this time.
That's right.
There was no Pussy Galore.
That's right. Practically phoning it in. So yeah, this movie has everything. A kind of space shuttle. It has Jaws. Jaws falls in love. It has parachuting. It has space lasers. And it is, unfortunately for me, Roger Moore is my James Bond. And I only have come to realize this as an adult. I know he's not the best. I know this.
I'm glad you figured that out.
He's my James Bond too, For me, my James Bond movie was Octopussy.
Sure.
But yeah, none of them are particularly great. But he is the James Bond while we were growing up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's true. We were a little late for Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Way late for George Lazenby.
Well, so is he.
Too early for Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
I saw all the Pierce Brosnan ones in the theater, and I always enjoy them. They're fine.
I thought they were GoldenEye was fantastic. I still love that movie.
Yeah.
But,
I watched that again actually just a few weeks ago. I watched several James Bond movies a few weeks ago, and that's kind of what led me back to wanting to take this one back on again. But it starts
it's interesting. You should bring up GoldenEye because GoldenEye is Famke Janssen, who was, of course, Jean Grey in the X-Men show. But she was also in a superhero show, which I think I mentioned in a past broadcast. It was called Model by Day. And at night, she was a Birds of Prey style superhero with a couple of other models. And then during the day, she was being fancy pants.
So it's like every TV show with an action lady, basically.
Yeah.
So the movie starts off with the theft of a space shuttle somehow.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do. The list of technical inaccuracies here is pretty extraordinary.
Well, first of all, the shuttle is way too far forward, and they have a full developed tail in the back, not just a T-tail.
It's not a 747.
Not just a double tail. Well, it's got the 747 hump.
No, it doesn't.
You know what it is? It's a 747 model, right? They didn't take the tail off the way they were supposed to. And the shuttle is too far forward, so the center of gravity is way off. Also, I would point out a 747's galley and the shuttle's galley, the trash is always at the bottom. So
I feel like, talking about any sort of inaccuracies with this movie is a fool's errand.
Could be a problem.
And also, dude, they wouldn't have a fueled up rocket. They would not have a hydrazine filled or an RP-1 filled, Moonraker during a domestic ferry flight.
To say nothing of the fact that the fuel would have been stored in the big external tank anyway.
No, I mean there's some, not a lot.
Some,
there's
but
some.
not what's happening here, which is
this
a
is
full
ridiculous.
burn.
Yeah.
And they just fly it away like an airplane.
Yeah, because that's how it works.
Yeah. I know the wing structure is all wrong, but we're just going to fly this to South America.
That's how
to
it
the
works.
secret base.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's a James Bond movie, so there's good explosions, lots of them.
It is a ridiculous beginning, though, for sure.
For sure. And I kind of love it. So, all right. There's a brief little interlude where the bosses find out what's up, and then we have to have airplane shenanigans.
Before you move, pause. Damn. That entertainment unit is outrageously fantastic.
Is you talking about that white sphere thing?
Yes.
That is nice. I like that.
Wow. I didn't even notice that first time around.
At this point in the movie, though, I mean, I had to ask myself, do you think there's anyone on the planet who has been honeypotted more than 007?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Catfish.
Like, it is ridiculous that he has not been murdered yet because it's so easy to trick him.
One out of 3 women who we maxed on snub-nosed rifle.
Yeah.
And
it's like you could put an attractive girl underneath a box with a stick holding a corner of it up, like old Bugs Bunny style, and you can catch 007. He's the worst spy ever.
Hello, Foxy Box Girl. That would be her name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Foxy
I
Box.
the stick.
Yep.
Yeah, and then she's got like that bottle of champagne, which is 1 chance in 2 of being poisoned. It's like, yeah.
Shooting the altimeter is a great way to disable an aircraft.
That's the first thing I would shoot. It seems like it would be highly effective.
I just marked this one because it's the first time you see Jaws. Jaws pushes him out of the plane.
Yeah.
Right there, see?
Yeah. So, that's our
even though he looks like one of those thumb characters from Spy Kids.
That's Jaws 1.
That picture. Later it would be personal.
I just attributed his condition to British dentistry. I thought, maybe in the 70s this was normal.
Yeah. So what I will say is they filmed a lot of this with they really had dudes jumping out of planes, and I watched a whole thing on how they did this, and they like this is the 70s, and they did it, and these shots, a lot of them look really good.
They do.
This was probably the most impressive part of the movie. I mean,
it was the only part filmed in California,
except
too.
when you get here.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So
yeah, this was upsetting.
He's flapping his wings.
It's so dumb.
Show the trapeze.
It's just so dumb.
In a very bad comp. And
that's funny.
The theme song is played with the net. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Oh, wait a second. I disagree. It is not pretty cool.
All right.
It is really super uncool. I would point out that they are going to go from weird clowns and trapeze artists to the partially naked women or whatever thing that goes on, and it's not good. It's like the whole circus metaphor doesn't work.
So what I realized watching this movie, when I came to this realization, I'll tell you the sequence that when we get there, but this movie is a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Totally.
That's the best way to think of these action sequences, and that's probably why, as a kid, this appealed to me. Yeah. So I just wanted to point out that the editor for this movie is John Glenn.
Well, once you've gone around the planet a couple times, what do you have left to do?
You got to edit footage of people pretending to do it.
Yeah. Zap, 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 zap. Oh, boy.
All right, so we get our standard Moneypenny quip. James.
Yep. Okay, so I just wanted to point out, you can go forward or back a couple frames, where you can get a better view of his collar. So the shirt maker to the James Bond franchise and to the Avengers, the not the superheroes, the other one, and to the modern Joker is the same shirt maker, Turnbull and Asser on German Street. So if you go to their shop, they actually have a picture of Heath Ledger in the green suit with the nice shirt, and of course it's covered in blood and dirt and shit. But it's a great photo.
That's not how
so
you shoot.
I just want you to know that there is a direct line from the Joker cinematic universe to James Bond. So,
this movie has a couple of shots where they reveal a monitor, and neither of them are particularly impressive.
Now it's supposed to look very modern on how you have a glass panel in front of your screen.
But I did like that it's got a frame
and captions for no good reason at all.
All right, so we got to introduce our gadgets, because that's how a movie like James Bond is.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he get this time? Some darts, a dart watch.
Yeah, and an X-ray cigarette thing. Yeah.
Feels like he could have done better, but I guess he does get the bolo, exploding bolos later.
Yeah, that's a great scene. That is classics. Hammy, Desmond Llewellyn as Q.
So this is Nate.
That Hugo Drax is obsessed with the conquest of space. Now I can believe it.
I just feel like you could, replace that with Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. Absolutely no problem.
For sure.
And you're in a completely plausible realm these days.
Yeah. Yeah, I put down "smells musky" in this helicopter as a reference to Elon Musk.
I got what you were doing. Now it's time to meet our villain for the movie. This is Drax, who every time I see him, I think that it's Peter Dinklage. He's got the
I wonder if they're related.
I doubt it.
Look it up.
But hey.
And
it's a small country, man.
He does look a lot like him, but he has about 1/16 the acting chops. I feel like this villain has absolutely no charisma whatsoever, good or bad.
Yep.
It also doesn't help that his fashion sense is extraordinarily unattractive.
Like some sort of, not even like an A-list communist country army uniform.
Right.
It's like
it's what North Korea thinks North Korea would look like if North Korea watched North Korea on North Korean movies.
So I found a thing about Peter Dinklage and Michael Lonsdale, who plays Drax, and it's basically someone put up Michael Lonsdale is Peter Dinklage playing Steven Seagal.
A woman.
Your powers of observation do you credit, Mr. Bond.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Holly Goodhead.
woman.
Because we have to name all the female leads something completely stupid.
Yeah.
like a third grade sex pun. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's for me. That's what it is.
It's so bad.
It's so
Here are
bad.
my twin soldiers, Labia Majora and Labia Minora. It's like,
Capable of being launched into space by rocket,
Orbiting the Earth and re-entering the atmosphere to land like any conventional aircraft.
And just like the talk over mansplain, it just really shows, how great James Bond really is.
I definitely heard this report on the ABC Nightly News.
I know you are literally a rocket scientist, but let me explain to you how this machine works, honey.
so you gotta look at his face. It's like there's
so
no
pompous.
world where she's gonna be like, you know what I want to do is sleep with you now.
Yep. So now we enter the centrifuge, which I said in channel the other day. It autocorrected to centrifuge when I typed it in, and that made me really happy.
Sure.
This is one of those scenes as a kid that actually really, really stuck with me. I like always think of this sequence, like whenever you see anything like this is my frame of reference for this thing.
No, it's really true.
And we've seen centrifuge type machines in many shows and movies and stuff. They're a cliche now. I don't know if they were a cliche then.
Yeah. They weren't so much a cliche. I mean, everyone had seen The Right Stuff, and there was some centrifuge madness in that one.
I think The Right Stuff comes out after this.
It does.
Oh, I thought it did. Oh. Well, I mean, yeah, you're probably right. But remember, I didn't see this in the theater.
All right.
So this is all VHS tapes.
Here's our bad guy. In case you haven't noticed, he is maybe a different ethnicity than everyone else in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy when you're a British spy to determine who the bad guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the guy named Chang.
Oh.
The Japanese guy named Chang.
I will also note that
he's wearing a gi.
He's sporting the Mo haircut.
Yeah.
And not like a samurai hide knot, so it isn't that racist.
No, it's just the regular kind of racist.
Yeah.
Chang is a common Chinese surname. Never has it been thought to be a Japanese one. But okay.
Oh, here you go. See, it's high tech. He has a sliding glass panel somehow going through the bottom of his cigarette case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I have to tell you also, that is some classic, like a Radio Shack font work right there.
Yeah. No, totally. And his awesome spy cam, which like he advertises who he is because it's got a serial number on it.
That way, if he loses it and someone calls and is like, is there any identifying markers on your spy camera? He'd be like, yeah, mine says 007.
Where did you find it? Oh, in your safe?
Yeah, there's a lot about this that bothers me. Like, there's other things too. Like, first of all, I can't imagine that camera would have an aspect ratio that's anything other than square or circular. And they show him like rotating the camera to get like different angles. I'm sorry, that's a pinhole camera.
Well, it's a Minox, right? They always used Minox cameras in these. So
they're always gnawing on your damn power couplings too. Let's see. Oh, did I lose? Oh, no, I didn't. This whole sequence, man.
Yeah, so it's 6 seconds.
You missed, Mr. Bond. Did I?
Okay. The one thing I wanted to point out here is even Vice President Cheney was held for a while after he shot a guy in the face while hunting. I'm not picturing him just going, okay, now I'm going to go. I'll catch you later. It's like, this didn't work for me. And it was so cheesy and slapsticky and dumb.
Well, I mean, that's this whole movie, man. This whole movie is just very slapstick. And like, that's
now we go full Ramsey Bolton and send the dogs on the girl, right?
So They showed the glass and like the schematics, and I just like the idea that they're going to a hand-blown glass manufacturer, an artisan in Venice, to make glass hexagons that are apparently so specific and precise that they are for science-y work.
They can hold your death gas.
Yeah.
So I want to point out there was a pattern, a very common pattern from Libby or one of the big glass makers that was basically that glass, and we had it as a kid in the 80s, right? So I remember every time I would get a glass of water or iced tea or Coke or something, I'd be like, huh, every time. And I'm just like, I don't get why this is so fancy glass.
But there again, I keep forgetting that you are more than just a very beautiful woman.
If you're trying to be ingratiating, Mr. Bond, don't bother.
I felt like we're precursoring Christmas Jones and all of that ridiculousness. So I don't know. She's an astrophysicist. Okay.
Clearly.
Yeah, and I'm a Chinese jet pilot.
So now we have like 5 minutes of hijinks in the canal. And all I can think of through this entire sequence is that how much I really liked the last Spider-Man movie, and how like that was a really fun thing to do in Venice. And then I started thinking about how in Indiana Jones, like they had some fun shenanigans in Venice, and then all this happens. And
but let's not forget it was a Casino Royale, the modern Bond had a whole building collapse in Venice. I mean, they used Venice really well.
For me, this has to be the low point of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
How often do you think that assassin gets hired? You're like,
right?
All right, I need a guy to go through, to ride a gondola and throw knives in a coffin. And
I know your man.
The bad guy's like, I know exactly who you need.
And every shot through this, every gag is like a Looney Tunes type, like just ha ha ha, this is what Bugs Bunny would do.
And nothing more than the final scene here.
Oh yeah,
where his gondola turns into a hovercraft.
Yeah. With a flag.
For reasons like, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is so stupid.
Yeah. Well, stop. Don't go forward. You have to pause here. Go ahead, Rob. No, stop. You know who that was, right? That was Douglas Adams.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, this is like his famous walk-on role because he enjoyed 007. He was friends with one of the guys, and he's like, "You want to be in it?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he shows up, and then they have this stupid pigeon.
That's funny. I had no idea that was the
thing.
Yeah,
that was Douglas Adams.
Right on. So, yeah. I didn't even know what the guy
kind of great.
Like. Yeah.
It's like it was so cool. I was watching this. I was like, "That's Douglas Adams. This is the one that has Douglas Adams in it, right?" And then the fucking pigeon comes out, and I'm like, "Really? You just took all that great feeling I had for seeing Douglas Adams, one of my childhood writing heroes, and you give me the double taking pigeon? You hacks! You dirty, filthy hacks!"
So then this happens. There are so many sci-fi things that are ripped off,
but it's just it's like lazy. It's not an honest homage from one craftsperson to another. It's nerds will like this,
right? And also the numbers that he typed, like they were not in any way like following. Like at least if they would have followed like the notes or whatever, they did not at all.
They should have just like glued a Simon to the wall. You remember those things? Yes. Yeah.
Good times. So I've seen manufacturing for space before. These guys aren't making shit for space, It's disappointing. And I was like, so he puts it in his pocket, his little floppy, blousy pocket, and that's supposed to last through all these fights.
Yeah.
And honestly, I enjoyed the destroy all the glass scene. Like they did not leave a single glass unbroken.
Yeah, basically the fight in the glass museum. Although, okay, if you are going to attack someone, why would you do it in a full kendo outfit with a bamboo sword?
Yeah.
Like,
because he's the world's most intimidating Chinese-Japanese guy.
Because the only other weapon he's proficient in is chopstick.
Yeah, it's like going after someone with boxing gloves. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like
He can make super hard rice balls and throw them at him because he is such a racist character.
the whole point of this weapon is to make a loud noise and not hurt very much.
Well, the thing about this, they break every piece of glass.
Everything.
Not a single piece of glass scratches them. I mean,
That's true.
even the glass in his pocket doesn't break and kill them all with the poison glass. I mean, this is not like safety glass. This isn't laminated glass. This is glass. It should be cutting them up to shreds.
I feel like though that whole sequence could just be in a John Wick movie in a few years. Like, just let's have John Wick go to the glass store and just smash glass for like 5 minutes of action.
Sure.
I'm all in for that movie.
Play it again, Sam.
Oh,
Yep.
Wah, wah, wah.
oh,
Yep.
oh.
So lame.
Now he's got to meet.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, you have to scooch back a little bit.
Oh, did I overshoot? Oh,
yeah, you overshot. So, all right, look on the right. There's this woman, and I think she's just like an extra in the wrong place.
No,
so go ahead and play for a couple seconds.
get out of it.
No, you're in the wrong place. You know.
Yeah, and it's just like they just left it in. They're like, it's too much work. Let's just leave it in.
I don't want to shoot it again.
Oh, it's so weird. Jaws.
Yeah, what do we get? We get this is Jaws 2. When the first time when I'm watching this sequence and he's so tall, I thought something was wrong. I totally forgot Jaws was in this movie. I was like, is that airport really low or no, that they just got, a 10-foot tall man.
And also Charles de Gaulle is the worst airport, just for the record. Oh, the thing I mentioned, I thought it was weird that they were
You did the same thing as I did.
And it turns out they actually had a Charles de Gaulle to Rio by way of Mexico City route.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, really? Turns out they did.
Yep.
They went to Barbados. They went to a bunch of places with the Concorde. So
I was surprised about that too. I had to look it up, and there was that was a real thing.
Yeah. Super weird.
So you know how we watched Arrival and talked about how every movie that takes place in Mexico City happens on the Day of the Dead?
Yeah.
This is the Rio version of that, where every movie that takes place in Rio is during Carnival.
That's right.
Every window in Paris faces the Eiffel Tower.
Yep. Yeah. If we were in New Orleans, it would be Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, the French Quarter is such a hole, man.
I had fun there, but I don't remember a lot of it. I just thought when this clown started coming in, there was like, maybe Stephen King saw this, and that's Pennywise, like the origin story.
Sure.
Yeah, but you can tell whoever is walking is very clumsy in that.
Yeah, that is not a good costume for assault. I'll just tell you, you are at a disadvantage in hand-to-hand combat wearing that.
Yeah.
I like how he's about to eat her.
Yeah, this is the other thing. Like, Jaws is a really big guy, but his superpower is that because of his chrome teeth, he can bite people to death.
And he tries to.
He also smiles a lot, revealing his, aside from being 7 feet tall, his real, his only distinguishing attribute.
Okay, so the thing I said here is, so if you've ever been in one of these big city party situations, you know what everyone wants to do? They want to take the tall murder clown and bring him into their party because that's totally normal.
Yep, they grab his hand, they leave him like, yay!
Hey, let's go! Yeah, woohoo!
But I was gonna bite that girl with my metal face.
I was gonna eat her.
She looks yummy.
God, this is such a dumb movie. So okay. I want to point out something here. You know, I ski a lot. I have a great affection for ski lifts and trams of all kinds. He grabs a hold, let it play for a few seconds. Okay. We're not talking about a little bit of weight and torque here. We're talking tens and tens of thousands of tons of cable that he's just brought to an immediate screeching halt. He would have been flung so far through the cement of the ceiling. It's just
he should forget his ridiculous teeth and just crush stuff with his hands if he's that strong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and also, I looked up the biting force of a human and the kind of
150
biting
pounds.
force. And a large adult male, and he's a large adult male, can get as high as like 240. So I'm like, okay, give him 300 pounds of biting force. You need 30,000 pounds of shear force to be able to cut through that cable. And it's insulting. I'm sorry.
You gonna be all right? I also like
I'm not going to be all right.
I like that the first thing that happens, and I didn't mark it, but the first thing that they do is like the cables have stopped. Let's get on the roof. Like immediately. That's their first thought. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That is not my first thought. But I think I've actually mentioned this to you guys before. I am scared of heights, and I think this movie is why. The sequence with them fighting on top of the cable cars, it just makes me sweat. It makes me nervous. It did that to me when I was a kid, and it does it to me now.
I too am scared of heights, but it's not because of this movie. This fight scene, I've seen better fight scenes in The Golden Girls. That fight scene might be the worst fight scene ever put on film.
But Rue McClanahan fights dirty.
So just keep it paused here, because like this is the first of the now Richard, we're going to need you to sort of mug for the camera. And I pictured like a record scratch, like you're probably wondering how I got myself into this situation. This is not the first. It's not even the first in the movie, and there's like 3 more of these. So I tried to mark them. I tried to find them all. I mean, it's just like I kind of think Jaws in some ways is the hero of this movie. He came out of this movie. I really liked him. I'm like, this guy, he's trying really hard to he's not just phoning in and like walking around and taking girls clothes off. He's working,
and this is his second of 3 great falls. Like
right,
he falls down here and then he falls from space
and then he falls in love.
And here we go, the part of the movie that slightly redeems itself for me. The greatest love story ever told in a 007 movie.
It's that smile.
Aww.
I mean, how
if you notice, they don't say a word to each other until the very end.
That's right.
Where he says something in a toast. This is all just chemistry between those two, setting it up. It's beautiful.
It's wonderful.
I like that all of their scenes. He's holding her hand like she's your big jaw.
She's 5 feet 1 inch tall. He's like 7'2". And look at the unbridled joy on his and her face at having found each other. And then these 2 idiots.
Yeah. Oh, and then he has to ride across the land in a poncho.
Oh, God.
Yeah, where he has to be a gaucho because that is even that part of Brazil. It's just
I do like though that he opens a door and there's just ninja monks. Sometimes you just find ninja monks.
So as a kid, I loved Q. I loved Desmond Llewellyn. He could do no wrong. And this is like we get some more Q. So I was into it, admittedly. So,
but they do this.
It's great stuff.
It's so Bugs Bunny. I mean,
it's so Bugs Bunny.
Oh, and then this guy,
The weird laser. Oh, that's the fella who. So lame. I call this Chekhov's laser gun because we see it later, of course. But yeah.
When the Marines come in.
You know.
Yes, we've sent up our own shuttle full of Marines.
For reasons.
Because we just launched, just because something fishy was happening in space.
And I gotta say,
we had a shuttle standing by.
The canal sequence is pretty bad. This sequence is no better.
I mean,
I do like the fate that the dummies get, though.
Yeah, that's the thing that just got me was the yeah.
I mean, well, to the movie's credit, this is back in the day when you did this. You had a boat, you exploded something, and parts flew up in the air. This isn't. You didn't have to budget render time for this.
Well, the thing that I put down, it says he dropped like 10, 12 mines to get that one explosion. And I'm like, so there's like 10 mines just waiting for some indigenous kid to come around, play soccer near it or something.
Presumably, he has to go back there. Or at least that was his plan, right? Because he was heading in the opposite direction at first.
The other thing that really kills this sequence is all the close-up comps, like the bad blue screen comps for James and for Jaws. It's kind of embarrassing, and it really, for me anyway, it ruins what was real in this sequence, which is not much. And of course,
this was
James Bond has to escape with a parasail and glide away.
Well, also, it's not a Union Jack. They should have put a Union Jack on it. It's like, how did they fail the basics? And if you go up for another 12 seconds, you'll see another Jaws moment.
Time for another fall, Jaws.
Yeah,
I'm good at Jaws. Is good at that.
Jaws.
Well, yeah. Presumably, he bites the water as he falls down, slowing him.
So now we get to the secret fortress filled with the most beautiful people in the world.
Now his plan makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
This
Although
whole set. Go ahead.
I will point out there's no indigenous peoples who made structures like that where they're supposed to be. The Incas and Aztecs, or Mayans and Aztecs, were north. The Incas were, south and west. There's absolutely no people who created structures like that. And don't get me started on why there's a reticulated python instead of an anaconda.
Well, the thing that killed me is it really reminded me of Logan's Run, like the set they used for Logan's Run with these people in the Logan's Run outfits, basically.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what is going on here?
Mr. Bond line
Mr.
here.
Bond, you defy all my attempts to plan an amusing death for you. You're not...
Is he reading a cue card right there? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. He's auditioning for Dr. Evil and doing a very bad job at it.
Well, it's like he's using like used clothes from Goldfinger and those helmets on those dudes.
I was going to say he's awful, but those helmets, man. Think about how much headbutting you could do with those helmets.
The other thing about this control room is just the layout here.
Right?
Not really a good user interface.
No.
Some of those monitors are a little hard to see.
Yeah. OSHA's going to have some issues with the ergonomics of the situation.
Yep.
And doesn't that floor look super slippery? I
was just pretty excited because now at this point we're 84 and a half minutes into this movie and we're finally going to get to some space stuff.
Yeah.
So kid me is like, all right, it's time. We're going to go to the moon. They're going to moonrake.
It's time to rake the moon. Jaws.
Well, we get our first rocket launch.
Yep.
Which I have a lot of questions about that. They stole one Moonraker in the beginning. Did they steal 5 more?
No,
Did they build 7 of them?
So they
he's he is running SpaceX. He's got all sorts of Moonrakers. He messed up with one. That's why he needed to steal one.
At the beginning, he says he had enough, but one of them failed, so they had to steal that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So the point I bet here is, why do they keep? So if you hit play for a few seconds, he's
Your own private crematorium. Mr. Bond, Dr. Goodhead, I bid you farewell.
okay. Just shoot them. Just freaking shoot them.
Yep.
Don't come up with some overly convoluted. Put them at the base of the spaceship.
I also like that this room, a little before this, it is a conference room.
Yeah.
Like then folds down into an exhaust pathway for the rocket. And it's like, man, you guys you really need the real estate where you have to launch rockets in your building above your conference room.
Well, and luckily, they had those exhaust vents to go down because, the fire certainly wouldn't expand out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I tell you,
Fast anything.
as you are all well aware, one of the highlights of my life was getting to see a shuttle launch, and I have to tell you, it's going to go faster than this.
And it's going to be loud enough that they will die.
Yeah, the sound wave will kill them.
Everyone in that dumb lair is dead.
Yeah,
Just dead.
When a large bomb or mine goes off, what kills you is the pressure wave. It's not shrapnel or fire usually. It is the force. That's a cool car, though. Look at that.
That is a cool car.
Well, it is a cool car. It's actually they retasked the Goldfinger shitty volcano cars. They repainted them, resurfaced them for Moonraker. This is the same crappy beach buggies that they converted for Goldfinger.
So we get to launch a whole bunch of space shuttles.
Here you go. Here's your space, Rob.
Yep,
This is
we
all
did
about
it.
you.
It's an hour 33. 11-year-old me waited an hour and 33 minutes to get to space. Yay!
We did miss the monorail, I think.
Oh,
we didn't comment on it. Yeah, Ambalu says there's a monorail.
There is.
Well, I wouldn't say we missed it.
Oh man. And let's so the space station, they rotate it to get artificial gravity.
Yeah.
But it's not designed to be rotatable in that manner to have a consistent artificial gravity anywhere.
They have a spiral staircase, Chris.
Oh, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so insulting.
I think this is a pretty horrible space station, and I love space stations.
I love them too, but this is not a good one.
That's actually not a bad shot. I like that.
I mean, if they just didn't try to spin it,
Okay, why are they docking the space shuttle through the door on the side?
Well, because otherwise they'd be upside down.
Yeah, well, that's another thing is that there's sequences where they're flying like with they're flying the wrong way. Like the shuttle flies upside down. That's how it works.
I think we're just lucky they didn't call this Space 1969.
So this movie rips a lot of stuff off from 2001.
Yeah, they do.
This is you put him in a red jumpsuit, and it's he's got to go and unplug Hal now.
And really bad zero-G type sequences.
So much. Oh yeah, all the pretty people.
Yeah, if you get to 140,
Perfect
30.
physical specimens. You have been selected as its progenitors.
That look right there is my favorite thing in the whole movie. Perfect? What?
Wait, I'm not perfect. Yeah, I think so. There was a thing that Hitler did. Well, it comes up, but yeah, I think this is where Jaws turns a corner on Drax, and he's like, maybe he's not the best boss.
I mean, I like that he makes that turn and everything.
Yeah.
But it seems pretty abrupt, right?
Yeah.
Like he's in the middle of it, and he's like, "Wait a second."
But Rob,
I'm
he's
not
discovered
a
love.
specimen.
I'm a mess.
He's discovered love.
That's true. He's got a reason to live now.
Yeah.
Also, I do like he's the only one who doesn't have like a yellow jumpsuit. He's still wearing like pants and suspenders.
Like they
You know
could
how hard
either
it
give
is to
him,
find something that fits him.
yeah, but they could at least give him like gold suspenders, so
Yeah.
at least part of his outfit matches the crew, right?
Is there? So they've got the beautiful people, and then they've got
Yeah.
the crew. Are the beautiful people the crew? Like, did they have a costume change?
Well,
that
they
just
were
didn't see?
specifically called astro technicians.
Hmm.
Astro technicians get your shuttles or whatever, you know. So I think they're meant to be smart and beautiful.
Oh, the whole package.
Yeah, and in love.
And Drax.
You appear with the tedious inevitability of an unloved season.
I didn't think there were any seasons
What?
in space.
It's like, this is not good writing. You think it's good writing. You're acting
Unwanted season.
an unwanted season.
Yeah.
I hate this movie.
Did I get the wrong timestamp?
And the treacherous Dr. Goodhead.
No, I got the wrong
That's-
timestamp for that one.
Dr. Goodhead.
Ah. Yeah.
Look at that helmet. God, I love that.
Of course, anyone not measuring up to your standards of physical perfection will be exterminated.
Oh.
Talking about my forehead bump.
My convex foreheads on the sides.
I feel like everyone's thinking about my forehead.
Not your teeth, bud.
No.
So Jaws is on Bond's side now.
Yep.
Yeah.
He switched.
The design of this laser feels a little bit Plan 9-y to me. Like,
Yeah.
this looks like PVC and some paper plates.
A lot of Mars attacks.
Yep. Yeah.
Quack, 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 quack.
God, these shuttles are terrible.
Oh, but now it's time for the exciting climax
Oh.
that we've all been waiting for.
The space battle. Pew
Yeah.
pew.
I remember seeing this as a kid
Pew pew pew.
and just thinking, this is so dumb.
Pew pew.
There's just so many reasons that this is wrong. Even the dog hates it.
The dog knows. No, if you had the gondola with like a glass globe over it, go through here shooting lasers. Bring back in with this movie.
Oh my god.
It's so hard to watch this part. Yeah. Okay. Every champagne bottle that has ever been made has a metal cage over it, and there's no metal cage on this one. So then at that point, you just go pop. It's really not that hard. You don't need to use your super teeth.
Look, Chris, if
You
you
know?
have super teeth, you use your super teeth.
Here's some for everything. That guy sharpens his pencil with his super teeth.
Yeah.
That guy, cuts
Maintains skiing
his
equipment.
fork. Yeah, everything he does with super teeth.
He's just enjoying his final moments on the space station with his miniature Amy Poehler.
Well, here's to us.
No,
Don't worry.
he has a lovely voice. He's
He
a
does,
lovely
yes.
man. People just don't understand him. But you know who understands him? Discount Amy Poehler.
She doesn't even care that he has that big wet hand of his.
She likes holding
And he
it.
tastes like champagne, you know?
And yeah, I was on the edge of my seat for this one. I
Yeah.
gotta tell you.
Yep.
All 7 minutes of it.
Switching the manual.
So they just literally they just did the trench run from Star Wars. He's got to switch to manual, and he's got to shoot manuals. I want them to say, he's turned off his tracking computer. Luke, are you okay?
Stay on target.
Stay on target. What's funny is she kind of looks like, what's her name? Presley's,
Priscilla?
wife from Priscilla. Yeah. She kind of looks like Priscilla Presley to me. So
And of course, We have to end.
Wait.
Oh, James.
James.
007. My God, what's Bond doing?
I think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
Oh.
British wit.
Oh.
We did it, guys. We made it through Moonraker.
Woo! Pardon.
I don't know if it's the worst
So
James
dumb.
Bond, but it's my James Bond.
It's one of the worst James Bonds.
Yeah, it is. And I will watch it probably about every 3 to 5 years for the rest of my life.
This is probably the last time I'll see this movie.
You're smarter than me, Chris.
No, I just probably will die sooner.
Oh.
Rather than watch this movie.
All right, folks. I think
That's a lot of notes.
we had 70 notes on this one.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And we managed to chew through all 70 notes in like 50 minutes. So we're getting pro speed here.
We're getting good at this.
Oh yeah. Pretty soon we're going to be able to watch a movie with 100 terrible notes in less than 20 minutes.
That'll be amazing. It'll be the future.
I think it's Chris's turn.
No.
It is.
No.
No, it's mine turn.
Oh.
It's Nate's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
No, pretty sure it's Chris, but whatever.
Chris was Screamers.
I was Screamers.
Oh yeah. All right. Nate picked Terminator. So what's up?
So I have been mostly picking movies that I don't know very well or had seen like once. I'm going to pick a movie that I have seen a lot. I would like to watch Brazil.
Oh
Yes.
Jonathan Pryce.
I'm excited
Terry
to watch Brazil.
Gilliam. Robert De Niro.
The mom from Who's the Boss is in that, right? Catherine. No, what's her name?
Oh yeah.
Mona.
Catherine. Mona.
I love that movie.
She's great.
I don't
She's
think I've watched
great
that
in
movie
Brazil.
since college.
Oh, and yeah, gosh, what a good show. Okay.
All right. Good choice, Nate.
I'm so glad you didn't pick, Screamers 2 or,
we could do Predator 2. I just watched that not that long ago.
the one that's in Los Angeles or like,
Yeah, it's bad.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
That's don't say that.
Could be
because
Screamers
we
too.
just watched Moonraker.
That's true.
All right. Let's say goodbye, Chris DeBona.
Goodbye, Chris DeBona.
Goodbye, Nate Osendorp.
Farewell.
Goodbye, the top of Rob Roseboom's head.
Goodbye.
And I am Rob Commander Taco Malda. This has been episode 585 of Geeks in Space. We'll see you on Friday and watch some news. Bye.